Maybe drinking with my new fans wasn't the best idea. I have a pounding headache, and now coach is chewing me out for not reporting in last night. I mean, it was only about 12 hours late, how bad could it be? You realize you said that all out loud? Shit. Well, how bad was it that the report was late, or that I strengthened relationships with fans? I replied in an attempt to recover some face. I like people who can stick to a schedule, though I suppose it wasn't the worst that could happen. As for the fans, I would be wary, though it helps us become renowned. I would just be wary that chemistry doesn't change. Where you are in the universe, and while we are tougher than most due to our death world or status doesn't mean someone can't slip something suspicious into your drinks. She had a point. She continued, and we don't want you to be useless when it comes time for the next match. Luckily, what would have been hell tomorrow has defaulted as our win due to the massive doping our opponents had. As such, the next round for us won't start until a week and a half from now. As such, I want you to head over to the usual facility for a checkup. With all the realizations you are making, we want to follow your development. This day is not getting better. Reluctantly I agree and make for the spaceport. Knowing coach, there should already be a ship ready. In the midst of the crowds of the spaceport, it's hard to see where I'm going. Not only are humans shorter than other species due to evolving on a planet with a larger gravity well, but I'm the wrong side of average height. Despite this physical setback, finding the ship coach had arranged wasn't hard. I just had to keep an ear out. Spaceports are naturally noisy due to the trade markets and the constant ship launches. However, when the distinctive sounds of the 1812 overture reached my ears, I could only grin and pick up the pace. If it was who I thought it was, then maybe my day just got a little better. As I rounded the corridor, the crowd had left an open area, which I just pushed through to reach. And there he was, my good old friend, accomplice and fellow summoner Max. He saw me in front of the crowd and waved me over, and the work of Tchaikovsky was quickly silenced. "It's been a while, Max," I said with a big grin on my face. "At least 8 months, North. I heard that you've been making big waves on the HoloNet. Have you been up to no good again?" He replied with a slight chuckle. "I will have you know that there have been no shenanigans beyond what Coach has told me to do." "Coach?" "Yeah, she sent me to get you. Said you were going to have a checkup. Tough luck, but better you than me." I had one 6 months ago, and I still failed to meet the growth criteria, so I got another round of treatment. I winced. Again. Treatment was never fun. Then again, Max always got treatment. He never responded well, and never got stronger. At least he wasn't left as a vegetable. As we talked and caught up, we made our way to his ship. A simple thing, functional and efficient. Like most of humanity's ships. Quickly boarding, we made our way to the bridge, where we gained clearance and left for the nearest jump point. We continued our conversation, eventually straying into the grounds of who was stronger. I'm telling you, Space Marines would easily beat the Zerg. They would just outgun them and glass the planet to clear the infection. No, you're wrong. The Zerg wouldn't exist on one planet, and they would just latch onto the ships before taking them under their control. Plus the Queen of Blades could cause massive damage through psyker attacks. Wait, shouldn't you jump to FTL now? Oh shit. Yeah, didn't notice. Nah, you see, psychers would be able to counter the Queen of Blades with their powers combined. Then the Space Marines would just be able to attack directly into a hive to prevent any real force developing. Oh come on, the Queen of Blades is on par, if not stronger than the High Templar, and she would just cause the psychers to go crazy. Then the ships blast themselves apart in the warp, as they tried to hunt down the infection. This conversation continued the entire journey to human space, and it was still unresolved when we arrived. As I went to leave the ship, I left one last comment. The Zerg are like orcs, they just have huge numbers. Since they are also unified and controlled by the Queen of Blades, they would be able to outmatch the Imperium as a whole. The Space Marines wouldn't stand a chance. I quickly left his ship. I hadn't won, but I had the last word. A small victory at least. And with that, my day once again got worse. I was quickly passed through the admissions room, and then I was sat in a plain gown, electrodes strapped to me and sitting in an oversized MRI scanner. With this, the tests and checkups started. The sound of a researcher sounded in the room, subject 58, named North, here for an ability appraisal and possible augmentation to reach predicted parameters. Requested by Dr. Cyriloiska. Commencing. And so it did. The initial tests always tested intelligence in the forms of memory, calculation capability and creativeness. After jumping through the hoops for about 40 minutes, with the researcher currently assigned giving only the test details. Hardly fun, but then again, when you are part of humanity's initial defense against possible invasions with a warfare type, not yet fully understood, there was hardly time to be messing around. After the first battery of tests was complete, I was asked to realize something of my choosing, so that the physical integrity could be tested. I was bored, so I thought of summoning something that could never hurt us, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but ultimately settled on just realizing Excalibur. Simple, non-sentient, and simple to test physical parameters. I heard the researcher mutter thanks quietly. Well, frowned upon to talk to me during a test. At least he was appreciative of how I tried to make his job easier. After another hour of testing, which included questions about how I felt and if I had any weird dreams or nightmares. I don't remember my dreams very often, and said as such. After waiting for another 2 hours, alone in a room with no entertainment, I was finally released and told my results. All the initial tests showed good results, with excellent results in memory, and the realization was tougher and sharper than was predicted. This was good news. I didn't need to have some more serum injected and suffer the terrible hallucinations. It brought about as a result of altering the brain structure to use psychic fields to produce objects. Finally, 6 hours after I had arrived, I was allowed to rest and wait for the next shuttle towards the system where the mind games were being held. So naturally, I read a book and waited. At least the Xenos were willing to party. Author's name and the link to original text in the description. Consider tapping the thumbs up and pressing the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. And please join our channel.